What if you use two different ProPresenter computers and you have a stage screen layout or some props on one, but you need it on the other one? How can you deal with that? Well, stick around and I'll show you how. Presented by ChurchTechU, it's the ProPresenter Show. On today's show, how to export stage screen layouts and props in ProPresenter. Hi, and welcome again to the ProPresenter Show. This is the show where I teach you all about ProPresenter. My name's Paul Allen Clifford. And before we get started, if you've ever made something on one machine and wanted it to show up on the other and you couldn't quite figure out how to do that, especially with stage screens and props, let me know about it in the comments below. So you might guess that I'm part of a lot of ProPresenter groups, and I can't remember which one I saw this in. I don't think it was one of mine. But someone suggested this, and I had never heard of it. So I looked it up, and I expanded on what was being taught, but I thought that I would share. Now, first off, credit where credit is due. I did not come up with this hack. This hack came from a guy named Zach Brown over at churchmediatraining.com. He actually has a YouTube channel called Zach Brown, Z-A-C-H space B-R-O-W-N. So head over to his channel, see if he's got some stuff that's helpful to you. Now, he was talking specifically just about stage screen layouts, but it got me thinking. And so I thought that I would expand on it as well and include props in the mix. So let's head over and take a look here. So basically, if you go to File, Export here, you'll notice that we can export a presentation, we can export a presentation bundle, do text, slide images, playlist, or themes, but we can't export stage screen layouts and we can't export props. So how do we deal with that? Well, you could, if it's two machines that are that need to be in sync with one another, you could sync them together. You can copy the original files from one ProPresenter and replace them in the other. But what if they're different and you want some from each? That's the problem that we're trying to address here. Now, I will say that this is a good use case for workspaces. So again, if you're okay with, and you're on a recent version of ProPresenter, I want to say it was 19 or 20 where they added those, you could have a workspace that you move from one computer to another computer, and that could solve this problem. But what if none of those do it exactly right for you? Well, I'll admit that this is a little work, but it's less work than recreating all of this from scratch. So let's take a look at what we might want to do. Basically, I've shown you two different ways to do this, in that we can go to File, Export ProPresenter Bundle, or Export Themes, and then ProPresenter will just bundle together everything in there, and then you can take it over to the other machine. Now, I'm going to make my notes for this available so you don't have to remember all of this, but I thought that I would just share kind of the how-to real quick for you. So let's start off with screens and edit layouts here. Now, when we go to that, let's say that this is the layout that I want to save. There's no way I can export it, but what I can do is I can click on any one of the items, select all, Command A on a Mac, Control A on Windows, and then Command C for copy, or Control C on Windows for copy. And I've copied all this. Now I can go into the theme editor, click on the little drop down, select new theme, and I could call this stage layouts. Create a new theme, and then first off, click and hit the backspace button to delete that. Now I can just paste it. And now it's just a matter of going to File and Export Theme and export this theme. Now it'll ask you to do all of them. You will want to select none and then go to the stage layouts. Notice I did this before, so stage layouts and export that one. Then once you get that exported, get it over to the other computer. However you do, put it on a thumb drive, email it to yourself, use a cloud service, doesn't matter. Just get it over there, move it out of the cloud service if it is, because you don't want the cloud service to do you a solid and delete the local copy. Not good. So anyway, you get it over there and then double click on it. It should open up ProPresenter, bring it in here. And then once you do that, here I'm going to click cancel here. Then just repeat the process just in reverse. So basically you click on everything, select all, copy it, and then you go back to screens, edit layouts, click the little plus button here, select a blank one. You will need to rename it, but click in there and do paste, and you're done. Now, is that some work? Yes, it is some work. I'm not going to lie to you. It does involve some work. But if you had a very intricate stage layout, you know, maybe you tweaked a lot of stuff, that could be a lot less work. So that's stage screen layouts. But what about props? Well, if we click on the props here, and I hide myself real quick, let's say it's this prop 1 that I want to do. Well, I can right click and edit that prop and just do the exact same thing. Click on any one of the items, select all, Command A on a Mac, Control A on Windows, and Command C on a Mac or Control C on Windows. And then I can, again, I can do that into a theme, or I can also do it into a presentation. So if I go back and let's just go into File and then New Presentation. And let's call this Props Export. My spacebar doesn't want to work for some reason. Probably got crumbs in it or something like that. So do that, go here into show mode, and I can actually just do a search for it, Command F on Mac, Control F on Windows, and do props export. Open that, and now right click, edit slide, get rid of that text, clicked on it, backspace button on a Windows keyboard, the delete button, that's where the backspace button ought to be on a Mac, and then I can just paste that there. And then exactly the same thing, File, Export. I would probably do Presentation Bundle because that's going to include any media as well. And then I can do that and bring that in. Now, let me clarify one thing. You can do that with either themes or presentations as kind of a holder for this information. So you don't have to do one or the other. But I think probably what I would do is I would pick one and just decide, okay, anytime I want to do a stage screen layout, it's going to be pasted into a theme. Anytime I want to do a prop, it's going to be pasted into a presentation. And as an added bonus, prop begins with P, and so does presentation. So prop, presentation, and the other thing, theme, stage screen layout. So there you go. You can absolutely mix and match those. That's just a little something that I came up with to help me. So whatever, do what works. And as I say, if you want to do this, I've come up with a step-by-step list of how to do this, and you can download that for free. All you have to do is go to tdm.fyi/pro-gifts, GIFTS, and it's in the list of things that you can do. Basically, how to export stage screen layouts and props in ProPresenter. So I'll just give you the step-by-step little ebook kind of format and use that with my blessings. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford from TrinityDigitalMedia.com and ChurchTechU.com, reminding you to go out and change eternity.